Good morning guys, it's the 4th of May, I'm Henry Green from London Trading Group and I'm just going to run through what I'm looking for in the markets for today's trading session. Okay, so I'm going to start with the dollar index. It's quite an interesting one because we broke some key lows last week, we closed below the lows, and that idea then basically opened up the bottom side for dollar weakness and a big period of dollar weakness, which is probably what we're looking to play at the moment. So what you're probably seeing at the moment is this pullback just to maybe retest those levels. I like this back to at least a 38, so 93.60, so I think there's a little bit of dollar strength left in this before we then see that significant dollar weakness. So on the day we're looking for a retest towards 93. The key level for me is about 85, so 93.85, so maybe we see get up there, and if we see some rejection around 93.85, that could just be the retest and then we come off from there. So on the daily chart, let me just bring this up for you guys because it's under here. So on the daily chart, this is what I'm looking for. So this was a first bounce zone, so let's go and see if we test this underside of this before continuing on. Maybe we come back and test this 21 that it's held on quite nicely before, just retest these lows, because as you can see this was a big break below this low here. So that 93, well, it looks to me like it's about 94 where the close is, so let's see if we get a test back up to there and then see this roll over. So if that does, then you're going to extend past this 1618 and you expect an extended move, and we could see extended dollar weakness leading into the rest of the week / into next week. So that's what I'm looking to play in the dollar index. So maybe just a bit final bit of strength for this one. Maybe just see this push back up to 94 and then come off. We're currently trading at 93.15, guys. So this is a bit delayed. I've got the live feed above me, so 94 is what I'm looking for potentially for that one to round off and then come off. So that should kind of dictate what the euro does, obviously, because it is the dollar index. So the euro closed very, very bearishly yesterday. I mean, that's got to be a sell bar off yesterday's close, so I can't be looking at anything but a sell off that. So we finally hit the D as well in the euro from in my sub D. So that's why. So I think that's now complete, and as such, I'm looking to play this back to the 38. So that's for me 113.20. I think you've got quite an easy move back there. You failed at the 127 without getting to the 1618. So I think that this could just be played on the short side, potentially looking for that first trend line break now on the top side before playing that. Now I don't obviously think that this is going to be continued euro weakness. I think that this is just a pullback before we then do go higher when the dollar index bounces. So what we could do is put this trend line in here, and we could just be playing it back down to this trend line, because obviously we made a high there, so this is completely valid. So what you could look to do now, we have hit the D, so the high probability trade is back to 113.22. So if we do get that, let's have a look where that takes us. Okay, so we're down towards the 127 now, so maybe we find that first pullback back up towards 115.50, and I think 115.50 becomes a really good sell zone, guys. So if you manage to get that pullback, maybe blip through these and then we go lower. But for me, I think this probably just goes this morning. I've got a sense that these moving averages are coming over the top pretty heavily. It looks quite strong. Maybe this 21 was the one that rejected it last time. So 115. If you don't get 115, 115.50, I like as a good sell zone in euro dollar to take down to the first target of 114.25. Now I've got a level at 114.40, so that's quite good. So let's say if we're trying to end up at 113. Where do we think? 113.30 area, 113.20 area. Does the next fib take us down? No, not quite. Okay, so maybe we get an overextended first move, maybe down to the trend line, let's say. I don't know, this is just a retest, this is just complete. And let's see how we can line this up. Okay, so that would kind of leave us, if we manage to stop at 114, okay, the round fig, if we manage to get down to 114 with the first push, the next swing down takes us down to 113.30, which we then could bounce based on the fibs. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for euro dollar. So cable hit its D as well a couple of days ago. We pushed up, we hit the 118 yesterday at the 200 moving average and rejected strongly. Yesterday's bar again was very, very bearish. We are down at the 8 now as well. So cable, let's see what happens. Oh man, cable got absolutely smacked yesterday. So we are still in this upwards fib. That's the thing with cable. And we ran onto the 127 and then pulled back. Having hit the 38, we're now back at the 38 as well. So I could just see this continuing on down. It looks like it's pretty heavy, especially out to contest this potential trend line. And through here, you're looking for the next one out. So this certainly looks heavy, just like the euro dollar does. Based on yesterday's closes, I would certainly be not looking for a buy this morning. I think you've got to be following what the short-term trend says and matching that up with the dollar index potentially rallying up to 94. I think you could see these continue sell-off today. Dollar yen held nicely again yesterday. We had a test of the lows. We have since held. So across the board, guys, it just seems like it is dollar strength for the time being. We hit the D, ran on to the nearly got to the 118, and we have now pulled back. So this is pretty rare. What's happened here? You expect it after it's gone through the 127, especially after a hold, to run quickly onto the D. Now, some people will probably count that as a D. I mean, I could probably count that 105.55, and the D was at 105. No, not quite for me. 20 pips a bit too far. So dollar yen, maybe we just get a pullback. What's the moving averages we're looking for? Maybe the 50 on the day looks pretty good. So that's probably what I'm going to look for. Maybe you get a pullback into that. It's quite high, guys. So dollar yen for me isn't a play that I'm looking to do at the moment. I like the short side of this one, but now it's broken that, and the EMAs are turning. So you've got to be looking back for the long side of this one for the time being before we then continue on the move down. So maybe back up to resistance. I've got first level at 108, 108.35 area before this then continues on downwards. Dollar CAD had a nice bounce yesterday as well. It was just kind of grinding down, and then we have since bounced. So this was just relentless. It looked like it just didn't want to stop yesterday. We went through all of the holding moving averages, and we are now potentially going to resume potentially this uptrend that we've been on. So all we can look for in this one, this is not offering a lot for me really. I'm going to put a few trend lines in this morning. The only thing that I do like about this is we're at the 21 on the day. Now that one has held really nicely, so you could see a bit of Canadian strength today if this has decided to stop its rally. But I mean, yesterday's bar was very, very strong, and it's never done that bar and then rejected straight away. So you've just got to be a bit careful with this one. But again, we've not quite hit the D. The D is down at, let's find where the D, 124.15, which I got was a good level. So I'm going to be looking for 124.15. I'm not looking to play this in any other direction. I'm just looking for that entry to be short, and then I'm going to look for the short side of dollar CAD. So that's an interesting one too. The Canadian dollar isn't very correlated to the dollar index, so that's something to note. Aussies through the lows. Interestingly, we had a nice close below 75. It's retested the custom moving average, and for me now, I'm looking for a retest and then to sell that one. I think this one does look weak, and I think this one will carry on down. So where do we get to? So we never managed to pull back to 38, so this could just be going for the 38 now, and the 38 is at 73.60. So that's pretty interesting. So in the Aussie dollar, maybe we get 73.60. I like that as a level. That seems like a good idea. So that lies between the 127 and the 1618. So maybe you get a deep pullback and then get there, or you just run on through. Maybe you get a small pullback and then it goes through. And I think 73.60 as a target is a really good one. The D down at 73.35, which I've also got as a bit of a level down there as well, 73.35. So that makes a lot of sense. So I'm looking for that pullback into this zone to then sell it, and I think I'll be certainly looking to be short Aussie today. Kiwi, what's the Kiwi looking like? The Kiwi rejected off those highs again of 70 area. We're back down now. 68.50 is a good zone as a potential bounce zone. Let's see what it looks like on the 60-minute. I mean, this is just going to look messy on the 60-minute because of what's happened. So this trend line is now, did you make a new high there? It looks like you probably did. Let's check that. What was the high? 70.52.9. What's that one? Yep, so we made a new high. Okay, cool. So then this can be extended out here. So if we move this one out to the new high, we're looking down to the trend line now. And if you use this a bit of a double top, what you could say is the fact that we're potentially looking for this as the minimum price objective as the first push down. So we're looking down towards 66.25 as the next target down. Okay, so a bit of room for Kiwi as well. This one's just been grinding up, so you've got to remember that every time it looks like it wants to go down, this one bounces. So just be careful of the Kiwi. On the week, it was a nice close, so it had quite a bullish weekly close, so you've got to try and go with the higher time frames. We have hit the D, which is the interesting thing on the week, so maybe a pullback is overdue, and that's going to lead us lower. Okay, guys, that's a quick wrap up of what I think is probably going to happen with the markets today. As I said, I think you probably do continually get that dollar pullback today. It looks that way. I think maybe a pullback to 94. I think is the good play. That means euro, pound, weakness potentially across the board. So that's what I'm going to be looking to play in today's trading session. Dollar CAD looks like it could hold up at that 21. And apart from that, I'm looking to sell the Aussie, leave the Kiwi alone. And dollar yen looks a bit choppy, so I'm going to leave that one too. So that's my idea for today, guys. As I say, click subscribe to never miss a video again. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully with the camera tomorrow. And yep, happy trading, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Thank you.